Hey everyone, welcome back to another one of my drawing process videos. Today I will be drawing a jellyfish in Adobe Fresco, and right now I'm starting off with my initial draft, trying to plan out what I want to create today. I'm drawing the tentacles in many different colors in order to differentiate them for my final outline. So now I'm working on my final outline. I decided to go with an orange color, which is very different from my previous illustrations, but I think it will add a fun pop to the drawing. And I'm just taking the time to go over each little part and making sure I know the differences between each of the tentacles. And now for the best part, the coloring. I really enjoy coloring in Adobe Fresco, and I probably say that in every video, but it's great to see the bland outline come to life. It's just so satisfying. I'm going for a sunset color palette, and I'm just trying out some new patterns, which I actually first thought of in an acrylic painting I'm currently working on. So now I'll be adding dots. Since I just started my digital art journey, I've been learning so much about how to use Fresco and all the features it has to offer. So currently I am freehanding each circle, which makes it look very bumpy and uneven, but after this video I learned that if I just hold the shape after drawing it, it will snap into a perfect shape. And the same goes for lines. Let me know in the comments if you want a video on some of my favorite Adobe Fresco features. Otherwise, I'm going to stop talking for a bit and let you enjoy the process. When I draw these illustrations, I rarely plan beforehand. I usually get a pop of inspiration and come in with a big vision of the main subject or a specific detail. In this case, I want to draw a jellyfish today. So afterwards, I usually build everything around that detail in order to harmonize. So now I'm deciding on the background. I'm using the paint bucket tool for the main color, and since I'm creating a vector image, I am choosing a vector fill option for the bucket. I also decided to try out this light yellow shade to see if I like it or not, but I might change it later. Now I'm trying out a gradient pattern with pastel colors, but in the end I decided that it looked just a bit too busy, especially since the main focus is the jellyfish. So I'm going to go with a more muted background. This pattern reminds me of how I draw a jellyfish tentacle video, so I might do that. It also looks a bit like DNA. I'm finishing up, so it's time to create the frame. I use the shape feature and change up the width to create thin rectangles. I then duplicate the layer to have even measurements on both sides. Finally, I do the top and the bottom too, but for the bottom I extend it to have space for an illustration link. Then I use the merge down option to create a single layer for the frame. Now at this point I decided that the orange is a bit too bright, but let me know in the comments what you think. Is the dull orange or the bright orange better for the frame? For some finishing touches, I realized that I never finished the lines extending from the jellyfish, and I just wanted to add some bubbles for a more interesting shape design. For the last part, I need to add the final little tentacles on the outside. And 3, 2, 1, here's the final result. I really like how my drawing turned out, and I hope you enjoyed this video.